We're going to learn about radical functions. We're going to learn about f of x equals square root of x, which is basically the same thing as y equals square root of x. And we're going to start with a table of values so we can graph the parent function of this radical function. And we are going to evaluate the function when x is 0, 1, and 4. So when x is 0, y is going to be 0 because the square root of 0 is 0. When x is 1, y is going to be 1. And when x is 4, y is going to be 2 because the square root of 4 is 2. So now we're going to plot these points on a plane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So we're going to plot the points 0, 0, 1, 1, and 4, 2. We connect them, and it's going to keep on going like this. Now we need to determine what the domain is, and for the parent function, the domain is going to be x is such as x is greater than or equal to 0. Remember, domain represents x, and if you notice, it begins here and it keeps on going on and on and on. It never ends. And the range is going to be the same thing. There are no negative values for y, not with the parent function anyways, so the range is going to go from here and up. So this is what we're going to be doing. We are going to be graphing different transformations of radical functions, and we're going to find the domain and the range, and we're going to graph them. And we're going to try to keep this simple. And there are different transformations that a radical function can suffer. So we're going to start with by listing the different transformations. I have square root of 1 over b times x minus h plus k. So this is what you need to remember. You need to remember that the value of a, it's going to affect y. These two are going to affect y. And these values are the ones that are going to affect x. And we're going to start with this table, and it is something similar that we did with quadratic functions. So I'm hoping that you remember that. So let's get to work. We're going to start with f of x equals square root of negative x plus 3. So here I have two transformations. First I have the negative x, which is this number, and we have the 3 that is going to be affecting the y. I'm going to rewrite the table that I'm going to be using as a guide. So it's going to be 0, 1, 4. And here I will have 0, 1, 2. This is the same table that we created earlier. And now we are going to have a table of values for the transformation. So again, this negative sign, it's going to affect x. So I'm going to write it right here. The 3 is going to affect y. So I'm going to have a plus 3 here. And then I'm going to evaluate the function for these values. So I started with a 0. We don't have a negative 0, so it's still going to be 0. Then 1 times negative 1 is going to be negative 1. All of them are just going to be negative, negative 4. And then for y, I just have to add 3 to each one of these. So 0 plus 3 is going to be 3. 1 plus 3 it's going to be 4. And 2 plus 3 is going to be 5. So now I have the 3 points that I need to graph my function. So let's see. So we're going to plot 0, 3, 1. So it's going to be 0, 3, it's right here. Negative 1, 4, so somewhere around here. And negative 4, 5. So if you notice, it's going to go up like this. So then the domain will be x is such as x is less than or equal to 0. Because it starts from here, the value of x is 0 here, and then it keeps on going down. And the range is going to be y is such as y is greater than or equal to 3. Because this is the value of y, it is 3, and it's going to keep on going up. Let's try one more example and then that will be it. f of x equals -3 square root of x minus 1. So I'm going to start again with my guide. X, y, 0, 1, 4, 0, 1, 2. And then I'm going to create the table of values for the transformation. This -3 affects y, so it's going to go right here. And this -1 affects y as well, so it's going to go right here. I don't have anything affecting x, so x is going to stay the same, 0, 1, 4. For y, it will be -3 times 0, that is 0, minus 1, -1. For 1, it's going to be -3 times 1, -3 minus 1, -4. And for 2, it's going to be -3 times 2, -6, minus 1, -7. So then I have 3 points that I'm going to plot. Not a very straight line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's going to be 0, -1, 1, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, -7. So somewhere around here. It's kind of an ugly graph. I wish I had graph paper here. Okay, so the domain, it's going to be x is such as x is greater than or equal to 0, because the values of x are going to keep on increasing. For the range, however, the values are going to keep on decreasing, so it's going to be y is such as y is less than or equal to -1. And that's it.